Steve here at West Green, holding my camera and my pen. I've been doing some practice today. This is an airbrushing. I don't give up too easy. I'm not a good airbrusher. No one sat down, like most of us, sat down and watched me do it and said, look, try this, you're too close, you're at the wrong angle, you've done this, you've done that. I've never, well, some may have had that privilege, but I haven't. So everything I learn by reading stuff and then trying it for myself. I've been trying to spray gloss enamel, and I don't do a very good job of it. So I get orange, but I get all sorts of crap. So I've actually tried today. I've been sodding around with Tamiya paint. So I've been trying with Tamiya paint using acrylics because I had them. So this is gloss, as you can see. Oh, look, it's not too bad. Wouldn't say it's perfect. I tried different pressures, different mixtures, probably different techniques. Bit hit and miss. Oh, look, that one's all right. But I want to spray enamel. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to be a bit more scientific about it. I'm going to mark up some test pieces of paper. I'm going to say what mixes I'm going to do. I think I'm going to, first of all, I'm going to try a 50-50 mix of paint and thinners. And then I'm going to try that at 20 psi and 30 psi. Then I might add more thinners and see what happens. Yeah, also with the technique, putting on a mist coat. And sometimes I find how close you get to how close do you get to the job and lay it on the paint on a bit thick. So we're going to give this a go. So what I've got here is some white spirit, a can of Humbrol blue. I've used this before, but I'm just using up paint I've got. I'm going to measure out to get accuracy, or roughly. If I put 1 spoon of that in and a spoon of thinners, that to me is 50-50. If I put 1 spoon of this in and 2 of thinners, that's roughly, well, it's a third, isn't it? So, well, actually, it's going to be 66.666 repeater of thinners. Close enough to 70%. So that will do me. This is a test. I'm going to stir this up with this. Now, some people have said to me, shouldn't use that, you should use a rotary thing. Well, I built this, it works, and if it's good enough for professionals, I won't mention any names, but people who've written books and charge probably £1,000 to paint a locomotive, if it's good enough for them and it works, it's damn well good enough for me, so I'm going to be using that. I spent probably 40 or 50 seconds. The good thing is I can hold the tin, hold the drill, put it in and then go slow, or then tell you what, 30 or 40 seconds of that and spin it round the side, it mixes everything up. So let's go outside and I'm going to give this a go. Will I be successful? I don't know. I don't claim to know everything, I just claim to try. Don't believe what I put up here, just see if it works. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, back to the drawing board. So I just put a spoonful of this blue paint in and a spoonful of thinners. Now just observe how it runs down the glass, because that's always a good indication of how thin your paint is. There's my little compressor. Sometimes I use a big one. That's a Art Logic twin cylinder job. This is an Iwata Revolution CO of a 0.5 needle. So I'll just put some white spirit in here. I'm just blowing it all out. At least I know. What I know is I haven't gummed the brush up from using that, what do I call it? Acrylic, which is always a problem, so I'm told. So I'm just dusting on a bit of a light coat first. Is it 20 psi? See the fumes going in there? So, what I've done, oh sorry, what I did, it's hard to do it, I can't do it with one hand. What I did is I come in very close, not too much paint, and I mist it on a coat, then I let it dry for a few seconds, then I put on another one. Then I got closer, that's pretty shiny. I've never ever had a result like that in my life. So, look at that. As I said, look, I'm no expert, just I'm going to tell you the truth, I don't BS. If I cock up, learn by my mistakes, because I've written on my card 50, 50, 20 psi. Let's now use the same paint and up it to 30. Now, I've just changed this. Now, this might be obvious to a lot of people, but to many it won't be. When you're adjusting the pressure, don't adjust the pressure without any air coming through the gun, because as soon as you put air going through the gun, that will drop down. So you want 30 psi when you're spraying. So I turn it on and adjust it to 30. It goes up a bit over 30 when it's stopped. I know, so anyway, look, if you don't know that, you do now. So I've adjusted that up to 30. Let's do another test. So here's my card, 50, 50, 30 psi. Now the only problem with this, when you look at it, you probably won't see it, but this isn't exactly a glass finish. It's got, if you look at this photo paper, it's got a bit of graininess in it anyway, a bit of texture. So when you do spray, you're going to get a bit of a, you're going to get some what appears to be graininess. It's not the paint, it's the actual finish. So I'm coming. There you go, look at that. Mist it on. I'm actually learning a lot today. Now I knew the air dryer. See this? I used to use it once when I had air. Okay. Oh, it's hard to do two-handed, isn't it, eh? Okay, the results. When I look at both of them, they don't look any different. So 30 psi doesn't make any difference. But what I've got here, we went to the Chinese the other day. Someone lost a cat. It's a joke. So I thought, well, I'll spray these. This is good. You've got to be careful though, because plastic, you can get funny stuff like what they call fish eyes in it. I learnt the other day from an expert. So I'm not going to argue with people who've been spraying for 30 years and know what they're doing. So I'm going to spray this up. So a bit of a mist coat. I had to put this on, I wasn't going to blow the damn thing off. Let's do another mist coat. Hit them with the old people, hit them high. Let's get this out going. Not too much heat. Just so you know, I do make mistakes. Look at that. There's this fine line between when you go over the edge of too wet and it runs. Doesn't matter. Go around this side. As I said, one thing to someone to tell you about it, it's another thing to find out for yourself. Can't do any more, just run out of paint at 50-50. So, let's have a look. It's hard to see here. Actually, that would have been pretty good had it not run. This one I ran out of paint, so you can see through it a bit. Still, onwards and upwards, as I say, or I say. So I've mixed this up. This is the 70-30. Now look at this. It runs down a lot easier. My feeling is this is going to be too thin, but You have to try it to know. So I've got 70, 30, 20 psi. So we go with this one. Sadly, I spilt a bit of that paint out of the cup because I didn't put the top on. Idiot. So that's the first coat. So what have I learnt today? This black, this is Tamiya gloss acrylic. Never used it before. I use the thinners. I've got no idea how much to thin it down. So didn't exactly turn out as well as I want it to. Probably because I'm not spraying it right. But, so then I moved on to my enamels. So with the enamels, I tried to be a bit more scientific than I've done in the past, or a bit more measure stuff. So what I did is I did 4 tests with changing pressure from 20 to 30 psi, mixing paint 50-50 to 70-30 approximately. So I run out of paint, but so let's have a look at the this is a 50-50 20 psi. This is gloss enamel. Well, there's no orange peel. As I said, those marks there, that's actually the paper. So put it this way, if I could get a job as good as that, I'd be pretty happy. So that's that one. Then I did 50-50, 30 psi. It's really, there's not much in it. between 20 and 30 psi seems to be within a working range, I suppose, and that's the thing. It's not, I don't think it's exact. Plus also with the gauge and that thing on my compressor, it's hard to see it anyway. So, I mean, let's face it, where are those gauges made? Lesser parts of Asia, China. Anyway, so I don't know how accurate it is. But with the 70, probably it was way too thin. I've got runs, I've got all sorts of things. It just, look at this. And I run out of paint. I think I'll forget that. But I did learn something. Then I decided to spray up some containers. This was a 50-50 one. I mean, that's come up all right. The other side here, one thing I learned, there's a fine line between pleasure and pain. Now, well, there is. But there's a fine line between getting it on wet and all of a sudden getting the run. And I breached that fine line. So the best of the best would have done it. And the worst of the worst, i.e. me. So there you go. And this was a 70. As you can see, well, I ran it anyway. I wasn't too concerned. And these results are pretty good. There's no orange peel in it. And bear in mind, but I only want a gloss because I'm going to put transfers on my model, then it's going to be dulled down. So my technique, I mean, apart from the fact I try to be a bit more sort of accurate about measuring paint and doing tests. Oh, sorry. So that was very good. But what I did with my airbrush, I watched a few videos because I'm always looking at ways to do things. Some of these videos you watch are just, they're not good. Or at least I don't think so. Some people do. But what I did was I looked at a video and the bloke, he went probably about 4 to 6 inches and put 2 mist coats on, very light mist coats, and he sort of dried them off. And then we went in probably about 75 mil, maybe 100, and put it on wet and went slow. So it was a slow pass and wet. And that's what I've done with this, and it's worked. I've achieved I mean, if look, is it perfect? No. But you know, it's for what I want. I'll be happy with that. I'll be happy as a pig in mud. Yeah, look, you can see the shine in my head, which is why I don't use that hairdryer anymore. Anyway, enough funny stuff. Anyway, look, that's pretty good. I hope you learned something from me. Is it the only way to do it? I don't think so. It's my way and it worked. And it's better than that mucky orange peel I got before. So, gloss, I think, is always going to be problematic to spray, because with gloss, any blemish will show up, whereas with a matte or a satin, it's going to be disguised in the fact that it's not so shiny. So anyway, there you go. I hope you like my video. Please subscribe to my channel. Give me a like. I like likes. And yeah. And if it's helpful, leave a comment. If it's not helpful, tell me. Anyway, as I said, I haven't got any, I've never been next to someone who said, look, do this, or you're doing it wrong. I've just had to learn myself and sort of learn from this and that. Anyway, I think that's pretty good.